What's going on, everybody? We got some Guns N' Roses news. So Guns N' Roses are going to be playing Colombia tomorrow. They're going to be playing Medellin. And I wanted to show you guys some photos of them arriving in Colombia. So this is them. This is Slash disembarking from the plane that they've been flying in. It's a private jet. They've been on this whole tour. Apparently Axl traveled with them too. He can be spotted there. And I'll show you some additional photos of Guns N' Roses playing. Now, what's interesting is Guns N' Roses, I don't know if they've played Medellin before, at least not with this lineup. They did play Bogota back in the day in 1992 as part of the Use Your Illusion tour, and I want to talk a bit about their shows in Bogota, which I'll get to in a bit. But the only reason I know Medellin is because I watched that great show on Netflix called Narcos. Watched both seasons. I really enjoy it. You guys should go check it out if you guys are looking for something really good on Netflix. It's easily one of my favorite shows. I'm excited for the next upcoming seasons. I think it's been renewed. So the reason I'm talking about Pablo Escobar and Narcos is if you guys have read Duff McKagan's book, It's So Easy and Other Lies, he talks about playing in Colombia. And one of the things he talks about, which is something I haven't been able to substantiate on the internet, but this is what he claims. He claims that around that time, if you guys know, in 1992, the Colombian government and the U.S. authorities were trying to track down Pablo Escobar, and they were not having any luck. And when Guns came to Colombia, Pablo Escobar put out a statement saying he was friends with the band and he was supplying them with drugs. And Bogota was like a very different city, I guess, around that time. It was much more violent than it is today. And I remember for the longest time, it was like the kidnapping capital of the world. It was called that. And Duff even wrote in his book, like a bomb exploded a couple 100 yards from where they were actually staying, and there was all this commotion and stuff. So it was a really scary time to be in South America, especially if you were Guns N' Roses for season 3 and 4. So let's talk a little bit about Guns N' Roses' old concerts they played. Actually, the one concert they played in Bogota back in 1992. So let's talk about the Use Your Illusion tour. So they were touring South America at the time. They'd never played Colombia. So they were supposed to originally play 2 dates in Colombia back in late November of 1992. Guns had just wrapped up a show in Venezuela. And just hours after the band left the country, Venezuela actually was thrown into a turmoil by an air-based military coup. So in the ensuing chaos, only one of the band's cargo planes is able to actually take off, leaving over half of the band's equipment and several crew members stranded. So this coup happened on November 26th, and then Friday, November 27th, Guns arrived in Colombia for 2 scheduled shows at El Campín Stadium in Bogota. But of course, with so much equipment, these shows were immediately in jeopardy. After touchdown in the early hours of the morning, they researched ways to bring in new equipment from North America or get their incarcerated cargo released from Venezuela. And of course, neither was possible in time to set up for the Saturday show, which was the following day. So Saturday tickets were basically made valid for Sunday, and 2 gigs were basically rolled into one. Originally, Guns N' Roses offered to reschedule and play a second show on the Monday, but local promoters believed those who would travel long distances would not be able to stay the 2 extra days. So Saturday rolls around, and with so many fans camping out the 60,000 capacity stadium, the wait for gear to arrive from Venezuela ended around 7 p.m. when the first shipment was delivered. As the crew battled to complete the load in time for the following night's show, basically Bogota was hit by a torrential downpour that slowed their progress. And at 10:15 on Saturday night, the 6-ton stage roof actually it collapsed to crash to the ground. Largely due to the steel buckling. And the stagehands basically had to flee. None of them were hurt, and they did an inspection afterwards, and they basically were able to uncover that the locally supplied structure had been unstable, unable to support the additional weight of the rainwater gathered on the roof. So basically, the concert was in jeopardy, and with no time to build another roof, the set was redesigned so all the lights that fell were repositioned on the stage's sidewalls, with the band having to perform under the sky and exposed to the elements. Now, there is some video of this concert. I've linked to it down below. There's like a small snippet of November Rain, and this is one of the Guns' most famous moments on the Use Your Illusion tour. They're playing November Rain, and they're playing in a torrential downpour. And then Axl stops the show for a bit and basically tells everybody in the audience, we're going to just get our stuff together just so nobody, gets electrocuted. And then the later part of the show where they're playing Paradise City is also televised as well as part of the same clip, so you can check it out there. But you can see the amount of rain those guys were playing in. And then Sunday, November 29th, when the day of the actual show, the massive crowds were actually let in early to avoid clashes with armed police. It seems like everywhere Guns went, there was always tons of police everywhere back in the early 90s. And what happened was, at lunchtime, a cloudburst damaged more equipment despite the crew's effort to protect it. Just seems like more bad luck after bad luck. So basically, as the police attempted to disperse the disappointed fans who were locked out of the gig, So basically by 10 p.m. the stadium was full with hundreds of ticket holders actually locked out. So police locked them out, scuffles broke out, a few people were injured, and some nearby cars and property was damaged before the order was restored by the use of tear gas. Against the background, Guns N' Roses finally took the stage around 10:30 p.m. with Welcome to the Jungle. 90 minutes later, Axl's ballad November Rain ironically heralded another cloudburst with more rain coming. And then the band completed the song, and Axl pulled a translator on stage to tell the crowd they need to take a short break, and then they closed out the concert in Bogota by playing Don't Cry and Paradise City. And the audience, who's basically remained enthusiastic throughout the entire set, their enthusiasm was undampered by the weather throughout, and they basically bid Guns N' Roses an ecstatic farewell. And then Guns took a couple days off. The following Wednesday, they played to 55,000 people in Santiago, Chile, which you guys can actually watch the full Pro Shot concert on YouTube. So I wish I was able to find more pictures and more video footage of the concert in Colombia. There are some news reports back from that time of people talking about the concert. You can see Axl actually in one of the video clips entering the hotel, and there's surrounded by photographers. So I've linked to those as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I don't think Guns' concert in Colombia is going to be as exciting in terms of all these events going on and the rioting breakout. I think it's going to be more subdued, but they'll still put on a great show. So let me know your guys' thoughts. And as always, make sure you subscribe for the latest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.